Greetings. This is the Yellow Brick Road. What follows tonight is a terrifying look into a world full of deceit, dirty money, politicking, and goblins. What? Fine, no goblins. Tonight, we present to you a look into conspiracies.
Alright, so I was scrumming through the internet last night, and this is on, my recommended list on the homepage of YouTube by this guy, Bill Smith, I think his name is. He apparently found a 2003 essay by actor Crispin Miller. He plays the dad, and what's the dad's name? He plays Marty McFly's dad in Back to the Future. He's I think he's one of the bad guys in Charlie's Angels, the newer one. He's also on American Gods, which is a really good TV show. So what he says in here is very interesting. We could have did this as like a normal video, not just conspiracy, because it sounds very philosophical. It's not. The conspiracy part is like a sort of, you'll hear it when we play it. So this is Crispin Glover's essay. What is it? I don't know.
What is it? By Crispin Glover. Is this culture content? Is it happy? Are the smiles broadcast by the culture's media the smiles that reflect the collective mind? Does the self-professed compassion of the media for the unfortunate seem sincere? Is this culture a Judeo-Christian culture? Is forgiveness a quality of Christian ethos? Didn't Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold of Columbine High School pose with a caption that stated, "Stay alive, stay different, stay crazy"? Didn't they target Christians? Weren't they accused of being Nazis? Wasn't one of them Jewish? Wasn't one of them an honor student? If these fellows were staying crazy and staying different and thinking on their own, were they perhaps manifesting a countercultural ideal?
So far this is strictly philosophical, and I have a feeling the strictly conspiracy guys are going to skip over that and go right to the Steven Spielberg part. And he sounds, to me, he sounds pretty angry with Spielberg. Maybe angry, maybe just questioning him.
Why wasn't I casting more of your lead roles?
It sounds pretty bad.
Huh? Go ahead.
Alright, also I want to mention he made a movie based on this concept, and that happens to be his photo for his Twitter account is this movie.
What else in this culture were the Columbine killers attacking? Aren't jocks, whom they killed, generally considered common, good guys by our culture? Don't jocks represent pro-cultural values? Do those who hold values counter the culture see jocks as boorish, vapid, brute, conceited, and condescending, who willfully insult and violate those who refuse to gang with the masses? Were Harris and Klebold reacting to the media itself? Did they give their own lives and take others to make a point about the media at large? Can it be true that the media at large is so neurotic that it is unable to truthfully describe the Columbine event?
So this sounds like something Tessarian would say, like insanity is a perfectly healthy response to an insane world.
Oh, so you'll find the sane person maybe becomes insane in the unhealthy environment.
And I believe he gets that from Artie Lang, the psychologist.
Is it true that a videotape they produced just before the killings is now being withheld so the public cannot determine their own thoughts about Harris and Klebold's statement?
What do you know about it? Tell us.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know.
That if there's some sort of tape out there where they explain why they're doing what they're doing.
You probably know.
And it has nothing to do with the way the media portrayed it.
You probably
That's a conspiracy in itself, man.
In civilization and its discontents, did Sigmund Freud define a neurotic as an individual holding thoughts that clash with those held by the prevailing culture? An individual who subverts those clashing thoughts to the subconscious that later manifests in the form of anxiety and unnecessary behavior? If this is so, what does one consider a culture whose prevailing ideas express hypocrisy, sham, and double standards? Does this somehow define a neurotic culture?
Something else Tessarian says. It's like, he says something about like a schizophrenic can smell when someone's being dishonest about something. Because as much as the weird content the schizophrenic's receiving, they can also somewhat piece out like, like I can see all your schizophrenic tendencies, as in you're saying one thing, but your being is in another place. Essentially like lying and shit. Mm-hmm. You're saying one thing, but your intentions are in a different area.
Does Steven Spielberg hold the same values I wish upon myself? Does the mind of this grinning, bespectacled, baseball-capped man entirely reflect this culture? Is it true that in his waning years, Orson Welles asked Steven Spielberg for a small amount of money with which he could make a final film? Is it true Steven Spielberg refused? Is it true Steven Spielberg bought a sled used in Citizen Kane for an extremely large sum of money?
That's interesting. Alright, he's doing the Fox News route, which is, they don't say like, are Muslims bad people? They put it like that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a question instead of you're actually saying something.
Well, it's more of a statement than a question.
Yeah.
It's like, how bad? No, it's really this. How bad are the Muslims? Find out tonight at 8. It's like, what?
No, they don't. They stop at the question. Like, are liberals actually Nazis? They just stop there.
Is George Jones really an asshole?
But yeah, this is where the Spielberg shit comes in. And so far it sounds like he's calling him like a bad person, basically. It's like, he's an asshole, but the media's gonna portray him as
God,
the nice director with the baseball cap who's makes our favorite movies.
Not my favorite.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
No.
He's a good old slice of American Pie. Not the movie American Pie, but you know,
I really like
the symbol of American Pie.
Do creeps me out.
Yeah.
Do Steven Spielberg's passions burn? Do passions burn in the man now imprisoned who wished to anally rape Steven Spielberg?
It's like, fuck. Let's rewind a little bit.
Of money. Do Steven Spielberg's passions burn? Do passions burn in the man now imprisoned who wished to anally rape Steven Spielberg? Do our cultural mouthpieces confidently inform us that the wish to anally rape Steven Spielberg is a bad thought?
Dark philosophy. Pretty dark. Yeah.
Could anal rape of Steven Spielberg be simply the manifestation of a cultural mandate? Do you believe Steven Spielberg is an ideal guide and influence for our culture? What do Steven Spielberg's films question? Does Steven Spielberg focus much of his fantasy life on young people? Did he portray children wallowing in sewers filled with fecal matter in Schindler's List? Did he use children to finger paint an adult in Hook? Does he collect the illustrations of Norman Rockwell, such as the one showing a young boy in his underwear examined by a doctor? Are the inclinations of Steven Spielberg above suspicion by the media-fed culture? Was Steven Spielberg very friendly with Michael Jackson? Wasn't Michael Jackson supposed to play Peter Pan in Steven Spielberg's version of the story?
So it's kind of, I'd say it's pretty difficult to not see that as some sort of allegation. And the only other possibility I can think of is just him being like controversial. That's the only other thing I can think of. And if I say these things, it'll be more controversial, which will get the reaction, which then I can question society and their stance on things. That's the only other explanation I can think of. Other than that, it sounds like a straight up allegation against Steven Spielberg and little kids.
Do Michael Jackson and Steven Spielberg share similar opinions about the sexuality of young boys?
Now, this is from 2003. This isn't some guy who's like, no offense to Isaac Cappy, but he's not like headlining movies and shit. This guy's headlined movies before. I believe he's worked with Spielberg. I'm not sure. But, you know, in this time frame, he's like a B actor. Right, he's not like a megastar, but he's like a, oh, I know that guy. You can see his face. So, that's all very interesting because they sound like allegations. Right.
Joseph Goebbels popularized certain ideals to the mass culture. Does Steven Spielberg attempt to do the same thing? Is celebrity more special than actual truth in art? When you join in a conversation with strangers, do you openly discuss any idea whatsoever without fear of conflict? Or do you restrain yourself from discussing certain things for fear of offending people and then becoming an outcast? Are there laws that deem certain forms of thought as bad and wrong? Is what is now termed hate a form of thought? Does our culture consider it acceptable to have a minstrel represent a black person on film? Does our culture consider it acceptable to have a person of average intelligence represent a retarded person on film? Why is one thing questionable and one thing acceptable?
It's gone back to philosophy, basically. I saw an interview of his with Opie and Anthony, and he brings up the words propaganda quite a bit. Well, that's like a thing that he was paying attention to. Probably still is. So that could be a large point of what he's trying to say.
Did Adolf Hitler entertain any good thoughts? Was Shirley Temple sexy as a young girl? What if you wish to express these ideas? Can people sue you for expressing ideas, particularly if they are blamed for inspiring behaviors considered antithetical to cultural norms? Would the cultural mainstream ever silence or suppress Steven Spielberg? Has the United States government given the immensely wealthy Steven Spielberg millions of dollars to fund a media project that reflects his religious heritage and his cultural beliefs? Does the Talmud speak of superiority of the Jews and the inferiority of other cultures and beliefs? Does Steven Spielberg reflect this religious imperative? Is Steven Spielberg neurotic? Is this belief hidden and suppressed?
Alright, so he goes back to Spielberg. I have heard questions about his film, his documentary film, to where it's like, I don't know, to where he's sort of placing his people above other people by making their past history look worse than it might have been. Like, we were, enslaved and shit, so we need to be up here now. You see that in all fucking races. It's happening right now.
I'm an observer. I'm just like,
You can see a bunch of, I would say, the loudest speakers from a bunch of different races pushing their culture down to the ground so they can elevate their race. Say, you guys did this to us, so we need to be up here now. And they're all doing it simultaneously.
it's like, man, how do you feel? How you like it now? Man. It's like, I didn't do it. That wasn't me. Was I there? No, you weren't. No, I wasn't there. No, but it's ancestral baggage. Here you go. Take it. It's kind of heavy. Take it.
It's kind of like, it's poetic and ironic because what you see is a lot of all the minority groups pushing down straight white men, and now they're in the position to say, you guys are oppressing us.
Yeah.
And they're pushing themselves down to elevate.
I'll make a video and put tape on my mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, I'm the oppressed one now.
So it's like, it's just everyone doing it.
If one discovers that everything one has been taught to be good is actually false, what then? At what point is one neurotic? Did Vincent van Gogh, Diane Arbus, and Rainer Werner Fassbinder die for the sins of their culture? Did Joseph Goebbels? Are we fed massive cultural propaganda? Are we infused with the belief that we act as we wish and do what we want? Are we not simply believing what cultural propaganda suggests us to think? Do you like MTV? Do you like Steven Spielberg? Do you like post-punk rock? Do you like trip-hop? Do you like rap? Do you define yourself according to the music you listen to? Do you consider yourself a true lover of music because you are in a rock band or because your boyfriend is in a rock band? Do you like tattoos? Do you like body piercings? Do you believe that love, kindness, compassion, recycling, and equality will save this culture from all its woes? Do you? Is it considered career suicide to question Steven Spielberg if one is involved in the entertainment business? If one is not involved in the entertainment business, is it considered a social suicide to question Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, it's pretty blatant. That's what it seems pretty blatant. Like, there's some sort of gripe there in their situation.
If these things are so, what does that point to? Does this mean freedom of expression is actually curtailed in our culture by certain social pressures? Is calling someone a fascist in American culture today the counterpart to saying someone was a communist during the Joseph McCarthy era?
Is that not happening right now?
Stop being a communist.
Is that not being done
Yeah.
right now?
You
Calling-
Nazi. You fascist.
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
Yeah, 2003.
The 1950s. Does our culture congratulate itself for taking interest in the lack of original ideas personified by the name of Steven Spielberg? Do his films take chances or take risks in order to amplify, change, or challenge the cultural thought process? Does Steven Spielberg take risks, or does he simulate the idea of taking risks? What risk was involved in making Saving Private Ryan?
That's gonna be our coming documentary. It's like, are you being honest and real, or are you simulating what real is?
Yeah.
Are you trying to simulate it?
Trying to simulate it. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Well, I mean something worse than that.
Yeah.
Or Schindler's List? Or adopting a black child? Would Steven Spielberg have adopted that same child in the deep south of the 1950s, where there would have been a risk of him being called a nigger lover? Were the adoption of a black child and the subject matter of his movies actually business decisions for which he knew he would be congratulated? When Steven Spielberg clutched his Academy Award for Schindler's List, saying it's for the 6 million, was he speaking of quantity of people killed, or the quantity of dollars poured into his bank account?
No wonder I never heard of this fucking thing.
Fuck.
Spielberg's like, get the fuck out. Get him now. Have an Oscar. Get him.
Did Steven Spielberg truly help the culture understand Stanley Kubrick's idea at an Academy Award eulogy? Or did he accuse Kubrick's films of being hopeful to make them seem as they sell the same idea as Steven Spielberg's movies? Was Clockwork Orange about hope? Was Barry Lyndon about hope? Was Dr. Strangelove about hope? Was Lolita about hope? Was Full Metal Jacket about hope? Was The Killing about hope? Was Steven Spielberg's company sued by an African-American woman who claimed that Amistad was based on her writing?
We know what you are.
They... I'll look that up.
I never heard of this.
Was Spielberg sued for, was it Amistad? Right, you said Amistad.
Killing about hope. Was Steven Spielberg's company sued by an African-American woman who claimed that Amistad was based on her writing? Was this African-American woman suddenly happy with Steven Spielberg after he deposited a lot of money into her bank account? Does the amount of money taken in by people determine happiness in this culture? Is the earth an unlimited resource, or is there a definitive quantity for people to exploit for gross amounts of money? When a capitalist invokes the word hope, does he speak about the continued escalation of his earning power?
He did mention in that Opie and Anthony interview, he mentioned that he questioned the ending of Back to the Future because they made it about money.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, it's like, oh, you're happy now because you have all this money and stuff. And he's like, you should change the ending for this movie.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of him. He ended up suing them because they used his face in the sequel or whatever. Because he did like a molding of his face so that he looks older, and they just took another actor and put that molding on that guy's face. He's like, I'm gonna sue you now.
Yeah. Good.
So, go check that interview out.
Without being stopped? Could this hope be an illusion? Are the ice sheets of Arctic and Antarctic melting and shearing off? Could negative population growth possibly help solve this problem? Isn't one child per 2 people negative population growth? Would Steven Spielberg ever support the idea of negative population growth within the medium? Have the goals of Freemasonry, as encapsulated by the back half of the dollar bill, succeeded? Has a megastate of greed been created? Did DreamWorks, the mega corporate entity co-owned by Steven Spielberg, consider paving over the last remaining wetlands in South California to create a studio?
Holy shit, man. What do you know?
He's saying it. That's what it sounds like. He's doing it Fox News style, but he's saying
I
it.
know.
The last remaining wetlands in California just steamrolled over it to build a studio. That's fucking funny.
2003?
This essay is from 2003. Apparently. Allegedly.
Does Steven Spielberg feel comfortable emasculating the natural? Is climbing the Alps or is riding the Matterhorn roller coaster in Disneyland more attractive to Steven Spielberg? Is the theme park mentality of our culture, which is made to feel right and moral by the propagandizing movie of Steven Spielberg, helping destroy the individual thought processes and emasculating what remains of the earth? Is it possible that the Columbine school shooting would have not occurred if Steven Spielberg had never wafted his putrid stench upon our culture? A culture he helped homogenize and propagandize. Would the culture benefit from Steven Spielberg's murder? Or would it be lessened by making him a martyr? Or would the people then begin to realize their lives have become less banal and more interesting due to his departure? Because I think it is possible a beautiful piece of non-lingual music could well be written by an angry victim once Steven Spielberg becomes a corpse. It could be that this angry victim of banal and ruinous propaganda will have written an anthem signaling a new era, a new thought process, a new music, and a new culture that is desperately needed in the coming days and forevermore. The one question lingering before this new utopian culture may very well be, what is it?
I don't know.
No, it's
No.
What is it? I don't know.
What do you think about that?
So,
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in here.
mm-hmm. And this just surfaced?
Huh?
This is surfacing now?
The other videos I saw were from like months ago,
Uh,
5 to 8 months ago.
Alright.
Probably something earlier than that reported on it, but this is, for the most part, been hidden. I haven't heard of it in conspiracy circles.
Like,
and
guys,
mainstream
look,
circles.
just be quiet, Glover. Glover, just be quiet. Just let me get.
Yeah, he's sort of, I don't know. It's very weird because it's, once again, you're dealing with an artist. So when they say things, they're not being so direct with certain things, like the murdering part, the killing part.
Yeah.
I think it's more being provocative. But the other stuff seems like detailed information.
Yeah.
Is some lady suing Spielberg's group?
It's a settlement. So
because
listen, just take this. Go away.
Yeah, he basically explained the settlement.
Listen, lady, suing me will cost you more than you're gonna get out of this.
Yeah.
We have to pay all these bills. We can keep this going for years, so just take $3 million and walk away. Go.
He inferred pedophilia with Spielberg.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Spielberg in here.
Yeah.
And the rest is questioning. I would say questioning society.
I gotta go. Kid.
All right, pussy.
Hold it. We'll see who gets kidney stones later on.
I do actions out of fear. James, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a lot in here. Yes, the Spielberg stuff, which I think the conspiracy guys are going to focus on, but there's also philosophical stuff. You know, why can't a white guy do blackface? Or why can't a normal intelligent person play a mentally challenged person? He's basically asking, like, where's the line drawn? And equating that with, adding that to the idea of propaganda, that we almost propagandize ourselves by limiting what we can say and not say, right? Saying something can be as much propaganda as not saying something. You know, telling a lie can be just as bad as not saying the truth. I think that's where he's going. And yeah, that basically fills out his his philosophical stance on this. The Spielberg stuff, once again, like I feel bad for laughing, but it's like he basically he ethered him. He shit all over this fucking guy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I say go check out. First, go watch this again for yourself. Look up Crispin Glover. What is it? Or Crispin Glover essay. Type that into YouTube. Watch the whole thing again, or you probably go on like Google it and read the transcripts and shit. Also look up his interviews. They're kind of like, you can tell he's like a wacky dude, not crazy, but you know, very like he'll be expressive and it'll seem neurotic and stuff. But I think he's just, you know, sort of holds back any type of filtering going on. He just lets it all out. And you can even see his first David Letterman interview where he does some pretty crazy shit. Like he does the Joaquin Phoenix where he's just in character the entire time.
That's funny.
And Letterman's like, what the fuck do I do now? He just gets up and leaves.
Really?
He's like, okay, I'm gonna go do the top 10, whatever. He just gets up and leaves. He like grabs his jacket to pull him back, but he just walks off. Yeah, it's pretty.
Okay, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, so he's a weird guy, but hopefully this should get out there and people start talking about it.
Yeah.
At the very least in the conspiracy circles. Hopefully they don't harp too much on the, see, look, Pizzagate's real. You see this?
Mm.
If they do that, I suggest changing the channel. Look at like some sort of honest point of view. Alright, with that said, subscribe, comment. What's the other one?
Report to YouTube and take down our channel just like Lord Jones.
Comment, debate. Please do that. And as always, a thumbs down.